right, we're dropping off the Conti Go tubeless tires off at the garage. All right, so another day with the bike. We have the head cover off, the valve gasket's in the trash because I already replaced it. And here's our exposed 3 cylinders. Well, not cylinders, but triple. It's not the K100, it's a K75. So we're going to be replacing the ignition coils back to the starters, well, the ignition coil packs. Got our bolts nice and organized. And let's go grab the spark plugs, the valve cover, gasket, and get those. I thought about actually replacing the ignition coil relay as well, but honestly, 38,000 miles. It's old, but it functions just fine, so I don't think we need to. But the same goes to the actual coils too. They really don't need to be done, but yeah, it was cheap. I think it was like 50 bucks. First spark plug is out. Look at that. The tip was totally shot. Oh, this is overdue. Was it like too gapped? I gotta check the specs. Huh, well, I guess this is normal then. Yeah, totally normal. Huh, weird plugs. All right, so we have brand new ignition coils installed, brand new gasket, and brand new spark plugs. Now we're going to access this breather valve. This thing's supposed to be checked at least once a year. Here it is. Hard to see, but it's $8 on Beamer Boneyard. And if you look closely, you'll see it right there. That guy right there. It's basically gets brittle. This one actually feels good. If you squeeze it, it'll crack, but this one actually feels really good. It doesn't need to be changed, but we already have the part. We're already in there. Let's go ahead and just do it because you have to remove the ignition coil cover to do it. So we're in there. Let's go ahead and do it. It's basically flathead there and then a flathead there at the bottom. And you can yank it right out. And this kit from Beamer Boneyard comes with the new clamps, which is kind of nice of them actually. And the rest of this is just O-rings and stuff for the oil changes. Well, the breather PCV, is it a PCV? It's a breather valve is out. So here's the old one. I was told these can be really brittle, so when you squeeze them, they'll actually crack, which I didn't really notice from here. It looked pretty good. But when I pulled it off, you can see a little bit of cracking right there. And some of that may have been made, to be honest, but inside looks pretty good. So yeah, so we have the new one here. Here's the new one. Be super gentle with it, but put that on and hope for the best. And check it out. New breather valve is installed. It's actually not quite as low as I would like it there, but I couldn't get it any lower, the bracket. But the hose itself is all the way down. And then we have it up top as well. All the way in and tighten down. So now we're going to reaffix our ignition coil cover. And I might actually do a test crank, just to make sure that like it starts before we proceed further. Look at that. Well, still looks dirty, but that's just temporary. Put some new, I'm replacing a lot of zip ties. If I see an old zip tie, I'll replace it. There's a lot of zip ties. And it's funny how much, is that loose? So that's possibly loose. There's a lot of BMW Phillips head screws on here, which is really funny. I like to see, I see so many Torx now, and some of these are Phillips. Kind of interesting. Yeah, I gotta tighten that thing up. That's like actually coming out of the rail a little bit there. The other ones are tight. Actually, that made me be valve related, so I'm not gonna touch that. I'm gonna wait on that one, do some more research. All right, air filter's out. It's actually not like, yeah, it's dirty, but it's not that dirty. There's the new one. Not terrible. But air filter's out. Pretty cool. All right, well, the air filter is in. So this air filter right there, that little line right there is the air filter. This screw back, this latch in the back was a bitch to get on, as was this one. I ended up actually removing the snorkel completely, which is these 2 bolts right here. Removing the whole fairing is only, it's like every 6,000 miles, step 1, remove all fairings off the RT, then you can actually do all your maintenance. It really is a lot of work to get all this stuff off, and the fairings just make it almost impossible. So next step is the fuel filter. We're going to be start off with, let's get our keys, and we're going to be removing the gas cap. So keys were somewhere around here. There we go. All right, let's get this open. So we've got 4 Phillips head screws in there, and I'm going to remove those. The tank is not empty, which might be a problem. We'll see in a few minutes. This is obviously one of those jobs that requires gloves, because gasoline is no funny business. It's actually, the tank is not as, oh, nice tank look. Actually looks pretty good in there. The tank is not as high as I thought it would. The bobber's at the very bottom. I think actually my fuel light came on whenever I was pulling in from my trip of this up north. And that was by design, actually. So I've got some old gas in here. There's a little bit of stabilizer in there, but that right there is obviously our fuel filter. You guys know that. We're just going to grab it. Looks like there's a couple of Phillips head screws holding it in. We're just going to grab that, pull it up, and unscrew that. There's a zip tie here as well. Zip ties. That's a zip tie. Why do they cut it down? Well, it doesn't seem to be bothered too much by the fuel. Anyway, we can grab this, pull it out, and unhook it, and we'll put in our new fuel filter. I doubt it needs this, but it's part of the 12,000 mile service, I think. And the thing is, when you guys buy these old bikes, the previous owner can say, "Oh man, all service is up to date, everything's perfect." You don't know that, first of all, and second of all, it is the best way for you to get introduced to your new bike is to do all the service that's required. Even if you don't think you need it, just do it. I went overkill because it's a 25-year-old bike and it looked like it had the original coils on it. But most stuff, basically just do at least the 12,000 mile service and just get it done with, because you're going to be happy knowing that the bike is all up to date on service. So the last owner, you might be wasting your money. The last owner probably did it the day you bought it, but it's nice to know. So fuel filter, not required. According to the last owner, he did it like a year and like 1,000 miles ago, but we're going to do it anyway. So let's do that. All right, great news. New fuel filter is in. Now we're going to grab those 4 Phillips head and our gas cap. We'll clean this up a little bit, actually, not into the fuel, but clean up the other side of the gas cap to get some of those particles out. I might use a wet rag, actually, get some of that, but not dropping into here. But then again, that's what the fuel filter is for, but we're going to overdo it. Yeah, so next step, actually, is going to be we're filling with oil. That's our next step. Then we'll get these handlebars upright. Then we'll do a crank test to make sure that, and from there we have a replacement carrier, which I'll show in a few minutes. All right, 10W40 full synth is going into the engine. One thing I wish I had done was replace the sight glass, but it's a little foggy. But that's really it. Everything else is pretty good so far. And the thing is, she's a major clean, but other than that, I just like clear sight glass, and that thing is very hazy. Oh well. All right, here we go. All right, let's fire it up. No clutch, right? This won't be very long, by the way. We're just doing it for a minute, just to make sure things actually start. Good. Those coils did work. All right, I'm going to unbox this tree real quick. You guys remember the previous video, where we had that tree that was not working, basically. It was that way it comes forward in the RT as it comes down, mounts in the lower part, and then comes up, mounts the top part. Well, the one on the left, the upper left, that had broken, and they just left it there. And then when that broke, then the upper top was holding the whole top fairing, and then that broke the plastic of the fairing. It was kind of a perfect circle. So this is a replacement one that I got for $150. It is an original BMW part. Supposedly never used. We'll see about that. Well packed, thank you. Yeah, so this part here goes into the triple tree. This goes up and this goes up. So right here it broke, it cracked right there. So this is going to get us almost there to being back at like 100%. But we still need to now figure out a way to get that plastic repaired in order to mount the passenger right side back to this. This is currently broken. I'll show that in a future video, but I think it's 10:30. I think I'm good for tonight. I'm actually happy with this. Clearly everything worked. I'm going to check the oil level to make sure that the oil with the R motors, the boxer motor, when you fill at the top of the sight glass and then you start it for a second and turn it off, it will pull some of that oil down and hold it. So I like to put a little bit more to top it back up again, basically. I'm going to see if this has the same thing, and then top more oil up, and then we're done with today's video. So progress, right? We got the ignition coils changed, spark plugs changed, a brand new gasket on the headguard, air filter was changed. What else did we do? Oh, we changed the fuel filter, topped off the oil, obviously, replaced the oil. One thing I didn't get to tonight, which I wanted to do, was replace the last two brake lines, stainless steel brake lines. These are the brake lines that are coming from the ABS units. So the brake lines that are coming from the from the ABS unit to the pads, the calipers is done, but the lines coming from the pedals / the lever to the ABS units is still rubber. But next video. Those in the battery tender. We're done for tonight. Rock on. Thanks for watching.